So this one is a little bit different from the one we just covered. Oddly enough, this is a, attractive woman, and she's 21 years old and says, I have no friends. Now, this was posted 5 years ago, but still got 6.7 million views. So it's kind of piggybacking on the ills of society that we've been talking about, how despite being more connected than ever on a digital front, we are more disconnected than we've ever been on a personal front. Something like an organic friendship, relationship, deep, meaningful connections don't exist in the world we have today. So let's see.
I'm 21 years old and I have no friends. And I'm just going to go into why that is. Tonight, I'm extra lonely, just out and about by myself as always, and I'm just gonna make a video about why I have no friends, and I'm gonna start from the very beginning. So, once upon a time, when I was born, 21 years ago, my parents thought it was a great idea to not socialize me as a child.
Wow.
Meaning that we were a homeschool family, and I was the second to last child, which, if anybody knows, the second to last child of 8 children, anybody who knows or who's in a big family knows that parents put in less and less effort with each child, and after child number 3, it gets pretty neglectful. So the older children got socialized, they got to do things, and I grew up from age 0 to 5 with not a single friend. Not a single friend. We went to a church which had a bunch of people, but they were all old people. I remember old people, and I remember I tried to make a friend with a girl, and I was chasing her around saying, hi, at 5 years old, or 4. And that didn't work out so well. Then, from age 5 on, and I remember feeling so jealous at that young age, at age 5. I remember being so jealous of my older siblings and older sister in particular, because she had friends, because she went to this group, which was made for teenage girls, so she got to hang out with a bunch of teenage girls her age. And I remember every time we'd drop her off and pick her up, I felt so jealous that she got to go, and I didn't, because I wanted friends and I was lonely. And I also remember this time when I was following my brothers around when their friend would come over, who was a guy, and they would exclude me completely, sometimes just telling me to leave or just completely ignoring me because I was the little sister. So that was my experience from age 0 to 5. Then we moved to Wisconsin, to a teeny tiny town, and from 5 to 12, I also didn't have any friends. They really didn't think it was important to socialize me with anybody. We did go to church, and I was pretty shy, and again, there wasn't really anybody my age, because I don't know if people know this, but first of all, when you're young, like from age 5 to 12, you're kind of in this awkward age group where the teenagers are cool, and like the teenagers won't be friends with you because they're teenagers, and it seemed like there was only teenagers at that church, teenagers and older people, and they just ignored me. Like, nobody talked to me. And then, I lost my train of thought, but basically from 0 to 12, zero socialization. As a homeschool family, we didn't do anything. I mean, what is there? Where would a family go to make friends? Nowhere. So I grew up extremely alone and just far away from all civilization, and obviously that probably didn't help my social skills. And then after age 12, I got put in public school, which was good. And this is kind of where it gets tricky. I don't know why I didn't make friends. I mean, every day in high school, I had friends. I had pretty good friends. Like, I would call them friends. I would never call them close friends, but I hung around with a group of girls, and the best thing about high school was that there was no drama for me, none at all. I wasn't included in any drama, and it seemed like it was because everybody, every single person, including my friends, kept a distance from me. And I don't know why that is. I really don't. I don't know what is with me that people kept a distance. I remember.
Usually at that age, it's attraction. Maybe they thought you were prettier than all of them, or saw you as competition, or obviously because everybody's competing for the boys. Maybe the boys were looking at you. One of the girls takes that as a slight, yada, yada. I mean, it's so hard to say, but making friends as a girl in high school, middle school, whatever, it's one of the hardest things ever because it's so superficial. They made a movie about it, Mean Girls. I mean, you understand how cliquish and catty women could be. She has an update video, but I haven't seen it yet. Don't know if I'd watch it, but here at 21 years old, young, pretty, seems to be well-mannered, doesn't talk in any weird, strange way, gives off very calm energy, seems to be well put together, will not have a problem getting a man and having a family of her own. However, making friends, because of all the things I listed, you're going to be a perpetual threat in the eyes of other women. And it's kind of hard to believe you led a drama-free life. I think what it's been in high school was you being excluded and kept at arm's length was the drama. You just didn't know you were being excluded. But again, she is a far cry from the guy that we saw. To the episode prior to this one, if you haven't watched, the dude talking about his life, he's 27, never kissed a girl, is a virgin. And that one's a heavy episode. But you can see the different levels between men and women. 21 years old, young, pretty, never had any friends. Has friends in high school, acquaintances, fine, whatever. I'm sure there was tons of boys that were interested in her and will continue to be interested in her. And so if she wants, she will find a relationship very easy. I mean, love is available for her when she decides to choose a suitor. Men would most likely find some of her quirks attractive. Even her story seems pretty cool because she's different than other girls and maybe seen as, I don't know, more pure and less jaded and less screwed up by social media, the world in general, or whatever it is. But I would bet that more guys would find this positive. Like, oh, homeschooled. Oh, you were kind of antisocial. Oh, you didn't get into the same like degenerate stuff everybody else was doing. Like, that's actually pretty cool. You lived a pretty cool life. Yeah, you might have been dealing with crippling loneliness and had no friends, but that's not really a big deal. Juxtapose that with the dude in the car that was ultra frustrated with being lonely, isolated, on the brink of ending himself over a woman. I mean, pining for the love of others. This one seems, psychologically speaking, apart from feeling alone, very stable, actually. Like, comparison to that guy, this one is super stable, pretty confident in herself, seems introspective, in a sense of questioning why things are going the way they're going and trying to navigate her way through that. Maybe some little traumas that she's picked up along the way, something like that. But psychologically, profile seems good for now.
Remember one girl really hated me for a couple of years, but
there you go.
For
Told you.
The last couple of years of high school, we were great. But at one point, she really made it seem like I was super stuck up, and she just thought that I was proud and stuck up, which I won't defend myself, but I don't think I am. And I think it was because I'm shy. And so sometimes people misinterpret shyness and quietness for being judgmental. So when somebody's really quiet, you assume they're being judgmental of you. And actually, I know that firsthand because there was a girl in high school who was super quiet around me, and I really thought she was judging me hardcore. And I have no idea if she was or not to this day. She might have been, but I absolutely believe she was judging me. But anyway, I don't know what it was about high school. I don't know if I didn't have social skills or what, but like, here's how it was in high school. I felt like I was friends and on good terms with everybody. Like, everybody was my friend. Everybody would talk to me. There was no drama. Nothing bad happened. But at the same time, no one was close to me. I don't know if it was me. I don't know if I didn't let anybody close to me. I think at the time, I mean, obviously, pretty much every high schooler will say this, but it was a very, like, depressed and dark period of life, high school, where everybody's, like, depressed, but I was especially depressed, and maybe I just wasn't letting anybody in, and I don't know it. Another thing was I always felt like I was in too much pain or I was too complicated for anybody to really understand, so I probably didn't try that hard, because, I don't know, I always felt like I was going through more and had harder problems than other people, which I know that probably sounds horrible, but I think almost everybody can feel that way about themselves. But it was, I guess that might be part of it. But yeah, another thing was I didn't feel like I connected with anybody. Since it was such a small school, I only had 20 classmates, and I think that was also a part of it, because how are you expected to find like a great friend out of 20 people? I honestly don't think too many people did find good friends, you know, in that tiny school. But I don't know, and then I'm gonna wrap this up, but after high school, I graduated, and obviously, but I won Homecoming Queen, so I wasn't unpopular.
There it is. Man, I nailed it. Again, I haven't watched this either. I told you, competition, you were prettier than your friends. That's why they kept your arm's length. I need to write a book. What the fuck?
I'm just saying like that as an example, as a proof that I wasn't hated in high school. Everybody liked me. But somehow I just didn't make any friends.
You made everybody feel insecure. You're at a small school. You look like this. You're most likely better looking than most of your friends. The girls are jealous. The boys all want you. Voila. You have your recipe for being at arm's length with everybody. The boys are most likely intimidated by you, and the girls obviously hate your guts for getting all the attention. Homecoming Queen. Wow.
Homecoming Queen. But anyway, I didn't make any friends that lasted, and I really wanted to, but maybe not with anybody at that school. I think it was just because I didn't feel like I connected with anybody, and maybe they sensed that as well. But anyway, I graduated. None of my friends stuck with me. I actually didn't see anybody after high school, except for one person. So I didn't see anybody really after high school, and nobody really talked to me. And I have, like, reached out to a couple classmates, and they all said that they have lost track with each other, too. So everybody has lost track of each other, which I guess...
Normal.
I guess it happens when people graduate high school. But anyway, I didn't go to college because I was terrified to, and I felt inadequate, and I felt like I couldn't do it, and I was stupid, and I would never pass, and I felt really intimidated, and I was...
Damn, the negative self-talk. Same as the guy. You see this? This is the female version of negative self-talk. Completely deterred her from going to college, which would have solved her loneliness problem, guaranteed. Who knows what she would get into going to college, whatever. But she would make friends and have a bunch of suitors and not feel the way she's feeling right now, because her confirmation bias would be dead in the water the moment she gets on campus, especially going to a big school like a university. And then, you know, you start to be more normal. You're no longer the homecoming queen. You're just another pretty good looking person on campus. And wow, there's a lot of good looking people on campus potentially. And holy crap, I'm just one of many people. And we're all nervous. It's all new experiences. Everybody's excited. The energy on a campus is completely different than the energy of a high school. But again, the negative self-talk is digging you into a hole deeper, deeper, and deeper. Crazy how the outcome is the same. Isolation, both for men and women.
I was terrified of college students, and I was terrified of the process, and I was terrified of the money and the debt. So I didn't go to college. So obviously I haven't made any college friends. And then it's like, well, how do you make friends then? You've got only option to make friends as coworkers and like going to some kind of class or group or something, and church. So during this time after graduating, I've tried everything. I've gone to church. I've tried to go to church and like find people to be friends with. I've joined Meetup, and I've done a couple meetups, and I've like reached out to people to try to go to coffee, and I've what else have I done? I don't know, but oh yeah, my work friends, I never really made friends at my last job. Not really at any job. It's the same thing. I don't know what it is with me. I truly don't. I must be completely blind to myself, but I have no idea why people don't want to be friends with me. Like, even people that I do very much like. When I find somebody that I do very much like and I want to be friends with, and I reach out to them and I'm trying my best and I'm being friendly and inquisitive and asking about them and like really trying, like putting an effort to be friends, it doesn't happen. When I find somebody that I think is super cool, which is pretty rare, but it's like they're too cool for me. I don't know. I mean, honestly, if anybody knows, I'd love to know why people aren't friends with me. Like recently, I went to a meetup and I met a girl that I loved. I just loved her. I thought she was super cool. And I wanted to be friends, but it's like, you meet her, you talk for hours the day, and then nothing happens. Nobody reaches out to anybody. I'm too afraid to. And it happened again on a different meetup where I went to coffee with a lady and I talked to her for hours, like many, many hours. The conversation just flowed and nothing came of that either. Nobody has reached out to anybody, and I'm too scared to because she's too cool. I don't know. But anyway, the moral, or what it all comes down to, is that I'm 21 years old and I have no friends. No friends at all. And might I add that my relationship with my family is non-existent. So I have no support system, no friends, nobody to turn to, nobody to hang around with, nobody to do fun stuff with, nobody to vent to, nobody to count on. Nobody's there for me. I've always been alone. My entire life, my entire existence, I've been alone. And it bothers me so deeply because all I ever have wanted is people in my life and friendships in my life and good connection and close people. And I don't know why it doesn't happen. I don't know. And it's pretty hopeless. It's pretty depressing because I'm so sick of going around and living my life completely alone. And anyway, that's it. Oh, I was maybe supposed to say something uplifting at the end, but there really isn't. I mean, I wasn't coming to any kind of point. I was just doing a timeline of my life without any friends, and that I don't have friends now, and that I've been trying. But, and it's super hard. But I guess that
This problem is so common in her generation. It's insane. The fact that this has so many views somehow tells me that 6 million people feel exactly the same. That's a good point. The truth is that as an adult, it becomes increasingly difficult to make friends, but you will. Not unless you change something. Nobody has reached out, and I'm too scared to. There is the core problem. They're just as scared as you, and someone has to do it. Yeah, it's concerning that so many people can relate to this. One of the worst things for me is opening up social media. It just makes me feel so depressed seeing others hanging with friends and having fun. It makes me feel so lonely. This guy says, I don't want to take away people's hope, but I'm 39 now, still have no friends. I managed to have long-term relationships, but never succeeded in building a deep friendship with anyone. Without wanting to sound blasé, there have been periods in my life I was very popular. But as you said, it seems like everyone's always kept a certain distance. I've been single now for the past 6 months, and it's the first time in my life I'm single for such a long period. I guess I always use relationships to feel less lonely. By being alone with myself for so long now, I came to realize that I'm the one who actually distances myself from people. I almost panic when people want to get too close, and I unconsciously react in the opposite way. The feeling of being close to someone makes me uncomfortable. I've always fought against these feelings and hopelessly tried to make friends. But by always fighting against it, I made myself feel like there was something wrong with me. This feeling never made me happy. I've now accepted the situation and made friends with myself. I'm happier than ever, and I really got to hear her experience. Wow. Interesting psychological profile of some of the people that may be lonely like this. Having no friends has become a condition of modern day society. Yeah, unfortunately, friendships, relationships, connections of any type require work. You have to put in effort. You have to make plans. You have to reach out. You can't be afraid. You can't have them always putting in work or initiating things. It's reciprocal in nature. And, you have these relationships where sometimes people get lost, man, in the day-to-day grind, family life. Life gets in the way. You sometimes have to put in extra effort to reach out to these people. I have friends in my life that I consider brothers would die for. I have not heard from in months. But when I pick up the phone and call, after the whole life gets in the way shtick, we can pick up with no problems whatsoever, catch each other up on what's going on. We live on different sides of the world. Time zones are a pain in the ass, yada, yada. But nothing stops us. When we pick up the phone, talk to them. How you been, brother? How's life? How's the family doing? How are you? What's going on? Catch me up on everything. It's as if all the time in between never existed. The rest you keep in touch with here and there, but that's basically how life is. People kind of gravitate away from one another as they meet people, start families. They have to look after kids, maybe demanding jobs. Some get really ambitious. Some just fall off the face of the earth for whatever reason. But really, effort is the key here. Sometimes the cohesion, you might have to be that glue that holds a relationship together, because there will be other points in your life when you get too busy that the other person will reach out. It's happened to me, and I've been the one that had to do it too. Plenty of times, hey, just checking in, brother. Haven't heard from you for months. Are you okay? Is everything good? Call me if you need to talk. Likewise, it's happened to me. Someone messages me, and they go, hey, just checking on you, bro. Haven't heard anything from you in a long time. Hoping you're good. How's life? How's family? Everything. Just checking in. That's simple, man. Respond back and maybe plan something. Hey, been super busy. Let's plan something. Haven't seen you in forever. Yada, yada, yada. But don't ever be afraid to reach out. Relationships will fall to the wayside unless you actively tend to them, especially in the world that we're living in today. It's not easy, guys, to understand. Everybody's becoming more isolated, more disconnected from everything. Social media is invading our brains, making us think the degeneracy and the hedonism we see is somehow the norm when it isn't. Telling us how to live, what to think, what we deserve, blah, 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 how to feel. Everybody's depressed because of social media, all this stuff. It's disconnect, touch some grass, go hang out with the boys every once in a while, put in some effort. What that person said before about it getting harder and harder as you get older, it's true. It really is. For the young guys, the friends that you do have, make sure you keep cultivating those relationships. It's nice to keep in touch, even if you're drifting apart. Anywho, let me know what you guys think. If you haven't already, subscribe to the second channel. We do videos just like this one right here that you see. Private calls with the community. If you're interested in joining, links are in the description below. Appreciate everybody that's been doing the consults and buying shirts. They support the channel directly. And I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody and what you guys, think about topics like this one and from the video prior. And interesting to see the difference between a man and a woman's issues with loneliness and isolation. So until next time, boys, take care.